already won an MVP. He's already made 7 All-Star teams, and he's done it all before the age of 30. There is one glaring line missing on his resume. Yesterday, Harden says that he not only knows he needs to bring a championship to Houston, but he promised he'd do it, quote, very soon. CC, what'd you make of Harden's comments?
Man, I don't like those promises. In team sports, if he was playing in the British Open, playing by himself, saying he was going to do it and everything, okay, you're out there by yourself. But I don't like the I factor, especially given everything that's coming out of Houston. Problem coaching staff, got rid of a bunch of coaches. The head coach didn't know if they was going to sign him to an extension. There was a problem. All right, the owner had to get on this private plane, go to West Virginia to be able to work out that situation.
And that's still not worked out, by the way. Still no extension. They thought they were going to get it worked out.
And we know that, let's just say, some of the Chris Paul stuff in Harden was real. Obviously, that's the reason why you move Chris Paul the way that they did. Man, this is a tough promise. I don't like guys making promises. You don't have no championship experience. Now, Nick and I were talking about this earlier. As I said, Nick, name me a guy that made a championship promise and fulfilled it. He was like, well, not many people. LeBron did it in Cleveland. I was like, yeah. You saw how the promise and what the negative publicity got them in Miami. Yep. Not 1, not 2, not 3. It's just not. You don't have to do that. It doesn't make you a champion. It doesn't make you that, oh, you're into it more than other people. No, people say, oh, well, I'm going to verbalize it. No, you verbalized what you were going to do. If he would have said, we as the Houston Rockets, the owner, because the owner's committed. The general manager, he is committed. Harden's committed. I just prefer that part about him promising that he's going to do it. Leave that part out because they're not far off. Haven't been far off the last couple years. And if not for the super team in Golden State, Houston could have been that team like Toronto, if they had gotten the luck Toronto got to be able to hoist the NBA trophy.
But, Nick, could you see a little bit how the last couple of days we've been talking about how Harden and Russell Westbrook will get along and how they're going to fit and all of it, and maybe it's up to Harden to say, oh, no, we got this. Don't worry. We're not only going to win, it's going to happen pretty soon, just to maybe get all the negative talk out of what will fit and sort of get the whole world onto this Houston bandwagon?
I think it's less about the last few days and more about the last few years. I think Chris and I go back and forth. Who's the best player in the league? Is it Kawhi? Is it LeBron? Was it Kevin Durant? James Harden, since Mike D'Antoni's been there, has accomplished everything one can accomplish except for what he's talking about here. Since Mike D'Antoni's been there, he's averaging, this is over 3 years, 32, 7, and 9. He's got 2 scoring titles and an assist title. He's won an MVP and finished second the other 2 years. Historically, you're going to look back at this 3-year stretch and we'll see if it continues and say, oh my God, like as far as offensive production, put this up against any 3-year stretch any player's ever had. Yet, not only has he not won a championship, hasn't even been to a finals. In this 3-year stretch, only been to 1 conference finals. Years 1 and years 3 bounced in the second round. Both of those years when you were bounced in the second round, you were eliminated in a game where your opposing team didn't have its best player. Lost to the Spurs without Kawhi, lost to the Warriors without Durant. So it is a 3-year era since D'Antoni's been there of truly unprecedented regular season success for Harden and then not reaching where you need to reach in the postseason. And we can blame it on bad luck 2 years ago, and I think that had a lot to do with it, with the Chris Paul injury, but this is the last mountain left for him to climb. So, Chris, your point being, it's fine if that's the last mountain for him to climb. Don't verbalize it this way. I get that. But this is real for Harden. This is the only thing left on the resume. If he had won the title 2 years ago, when they were up 3-2 on Golden State, there wouldn't be much of a discussion about who the best player in basketball is. Wouldn't be Kawhi, LeBron. Harden would have the strongest claim to the throne, if you will. But because they've never even been to the finals, he's an also-ran when we talk about the best player in basketball.
Yeah, I don't think they're a Russell Westbrook away from being a champion. It's just not, it's not a good look. You talk about those unbelievable numbers, and what has it gotten them?
Right.
To me, it speaks to my point. Like, so them adding players, him saying, I need some help so that we can win a championship. Because you're right, those numbers will match up, and he's not done. And I give Harden a lot of credit. He plays with a lot more energy on the defensive end. He is taking care of his body. Some of the things is from a lifestyle standpoint. He's curbed those things to be able to, that he would have unbelievable cardio and be able to play the way that he does. Yes, I got a lot of respect for that. Just don't individualize it. You're in a team sport. Understand the responsibility that everyone has in that. But to me, it still boils down to, I don't trust their coach. You talked about in those series the last couple years with their best player out. What move has that coach done to give you confidence that you can make a statement like that? I haven't seen it through his coaching career. I haven't seen it when I listen to him. I haven't seen it when I hear about the X's and O's. Yeah, they're a great offensive team. But defensively, when you get in the playoffs, Nick Nurse was the difference. Giannis, we ain't got no answer for him. Let's put Kawhi on him. Nick Nurse made a number of adjustments. Van Fleet, we're going to put him back into the lineup. We're going to start a different lineup going out in the third quarter. Those are the types of moves that win you a championship. And I don't have the confidence that they have the type of head coach that's going to be able to do that, to be able to back up what Harden is saying. I got no problem personally with Harden and his commitment to trying to bring a championship. But just be careful. You don't have to go about it that way.
Well, it looks like the head coach is going to be there if they can work this out. And
even if they can't, he's going to be the coach this year.
Right.
We just don't know moving forward.
And Russell Westbrook is going to be there moving forward. Do you think, to Chris's point, they could get this done with that head coach and with that other guard alongside James Harden?
I am not as down.
Can these two hold each other accountable and get something done?
So I'm not as down on D'Antoni as Chris is. I might not be quite as high on him as Chris Broussard is. Broussard said he's already got him in the Hall of Fame. I think you can make a case for that due to innovation. It's tougher when it comes to postseason success, part of his resume. I am not certain, and I want to make this clear because I've been the one defending the Russell Westbrook trade. I'm not certain it's going to work. I'm just certain it's a move I would have made. I'm just certain that if I have the opportunity to trade out Chris Paul and the relationship that had deteriorated and the player that had deteriorated for Russell Westbrook, the potential upside of that is enormous. The downside has to be recognized as well, and whether or not James Harden alongside Russ can be as effective as he was alongside Chris Paul.
Yeah, things just got harder. All right? I know Harden's making the problems, but things got harder. They got no answer for Anthony Davis, and Kawhi just came back to the West. So it wasn't like the West just got easier because Golden State broke up. No, they're going to have to deal with how can they win 4 series. I don't have the confidence that they have the head coach should be able to get them through. I got confidence in their players. Eric Gordon's very important. Does he take a back seat now that Russ needs the ball a little bit more? He shouldn't, because he's one of the glue guys for them. His ability to be able to stretch the defense and play at a high level and play defense. One of the questions is Clint Capella. How much better is he going to get? Because he's got to be able to live up to that contract that they gave him last year. Those things, I believe, are vital for Houston to continue to build.
All right, let's take a break. Talk a little football on the other side.